take good photographs, go into the light. Horror movies say if you pass away and see a light at the end of a tunnel, don't go into it. At all costs, do not go into it. Here on Earth, with a camera in our hands, we can forget about that. Go into it, most definitely go into the light. Imagine a hawk flying low and fast through a thickly wooded forest. He's after something. You don't know what. He pounces but misses. The squirrel saw him coming and scooted into a hollow log. The hawk could only sit there on the ground while I quickly raised my camera to take a photo of him. It was a bad situation. I had to shoot the hawk through a bunch of leaves and branches, and it was dark out. This is the result. We got a lot of noise and not a very good picture. So go into the light. It'll be worth it. If you're like me, you hate it when the light has flown away. There are other times where an opportunity affords itself. You can't pass it up. If you saw my previous video, you know that I didn't even notice this eagle sitting in a tree across the stream. A fellow hiker had to point him out to me. I'm glad he did. It was so dark that day, I was thinking of leaving my camera at home. I knew I'd have to make adjustments if I wanted to get a good photo of this bald eagle. He was across the stream, about 200 feet away, so I turned on the clear image zoom to bring the focal length to about 2400 millimeters. After trying many settings, I settled on a shutter speed of 1/60th of a second, which was far too slow for 2400 millimeters, an f-stop of f6.3, and an ISO of 80 to get the best possible quality I could. I used shutter priority. It worked. This is the result. Another photo that worked was this one. I went to total manual control for this one to see how that would work, using a shutter of 1/120th of a second and an aperture of f8 on manual and an ISO of 125. I didn't zoom in quite as far. I used the 1200 millimeter setting that the lens comes standard with. Luckily, the eagle waited around for a long time, so I had the opportunity to try several other settings. This vertical shot was taken with a shutter speed of 1/250th of a second, an aperture of f6.3. The ISO was 125, and it was taken with shutter priority. Sorry about that noise, my dog just coughed. I tried mostly horizontal pictures since it was so hard to get the eagle in frame with a vertical picture. You can see the settings for this one for yourselves. I knew what this blue jay was going to do as soon as he landed next to a canal. He was going to take a bath. I set a fast shutter speed and waited for him to jump into the water. Still, I had to shoot at a high ISO to get the photo, and that affected the quality a little bit. The light was still bright when I caught this downy woodpecker in my frame. I knew he was going to pose for me, so I didn't need a really fast shutter speed. The ISO was low, so the quality was good. I continued to go into the light with this red-bellied woodpecker, and it paid dividends with a low ISO. Unlike the hawk at the beginning of this video, this hawk was sunbathing, so I got to use low ISO again. A swallow posed for me, and then the sunlight brought out a couple of butterflies. The light worked its magic again on these beautiful creatures. Still, the light is always changing, and with it goes the quality of the photo. The seasons are always changing, and with it goes the light you depend on as a photographer. You have to adjust again and again as the year wears on. Yet even when winter comes, you can make beautiful pictures. You have to know how to compose the photo and look for something that catches your fancy. Winter has its own beauty, even when the light is not very good. You can still do things to make it look good. The point is that you can photograph just about anything if the light is good and you have the right tools. A drop of water on an apricot bud can become your subject if the light is right. Then you have to decide how to take the photo. Stop the action of a bee on a flower. The light is good enough. See how brilliant a tiny drop of water can be. See the tiny details of a flower that you've never seen before. It's right there before you. Capture tiny lives you didn't know were there. Find the 3 insects in this photo. It's all there for you if you can find the right settings on your camera to capture the light at that particular moment. The point is that you have to observe the light and adjust with your camera to each particular moment. I'm not going to tell you how to do that anymore. Look at each of these photos and try to figure it out for yourself. That's the only way. That's the only way to become proficient.